Okie dokie, good morning. How are you doing this morning? I hope everybody's doing great. I am going to talk to y'all really quick about a couple of my favorite different oils that we have. There's like over 600. I was just thinking about this a minute ago when I was grabbing stuff, and it hit me that we have over 600 different products, and that means even if I talked about a different one every single day, it would take 2 years to go through everything. And it's like, that's really weird to think about, that there's really like so much stuff, but you know, I mean, like you could find things to talk about all the time. And it's like, I get questions a lot. People will say, I've got so many oils, or like, I've gotten these things free and I really don't know what to do with them. And, or I've just got random bottles sitting around, or, oh, I don't use this particular thing. Does somebody want it? And I don't really understand that at all, because if there's something I do not know what it does, then I go and find what it does, so we do have books. If you do not have this little pocket reference, now I've got tons of little pocket references. If you want one, they're like $12, I think. Has everything. Now, this one is the 8th edition. It has everything up till last year. The new one hadn't come out yet for this year, because there's just this week is convention, so after next week, it'll probably be like July, August or so that the new books will begin to come out. And I'll have the newer stuff in it from this year, and probably like the spring stuff, whatever came out in spring, that kind of thing. Anything that's come out over the last year. But it's got everything else now. Like the new ones are really nice because they're in color, so all of the like they look a lot prettier. The older ones, now you can still get it in black and white, and it's a little bit cheaper in the black and white, but I see it better in the color, because then you can tell where different divisions are, especially if you're looking up something particular. I forget a lot of times, because when we first started doing this nearly 8 years ago, like everybody, we would make sure that everybody had a book, and I still try to make sure new people have books, but then there's a lot of people who enroll people that I don't necessarily talk to, and so you may not have a book. And so I wanted to make sure that you understand that this is available, that there is a way of not just randomly trying to figure out what you're supposed to do and how to use it, why it's important, and all of that, because this has got all the history of oils and where they came from and all of that kind of stuff, and how they're made up, all the chemistry stuff, if you really like chemistry and science. If you don't like it, then you don't have to read any of it. That does not mean you can't use them ever, because it really doesn't matter. Biggest thing is just get it on your body. You need it for your body. Now, if you enjoy massage, if you would like to learn more about how to do the raindrop, like you can do it on yourself. Well, not really on yourself, but do it to your family, like do it for your family. And so there's like pictures that show you how to do it for you. And then it has personal usages, which is really where the meat gets into everything in the book. So they've got like little quick references. Oh my goodness, my tummy's growling. I'm hungry. Like brain fog, memory, overweight metabolism, skin care, stress. Some of your very basic, like those big major things, like it has a little quick reference guide kind of in the center. Then it gets into all of the other stuff, all the meat. So if you crushing syndrome, what do you do with that? And it has it in here, tells you what to do, gives you a little explanation of that particular thing, and then shows you what oils to use, what supplements to use, agitation. I mean, even little things. Agitation, I mean, my goodness. And so it tells you what to do, what's the protocol for that particular thing. Alcoholism. Now, some things, I mean, like alcoholism, like overweight, those kind of things, I mean, some of this is going to come down to habit. Some of it's going to come down to the fact that you are going to have to make conscious effort every single day to just change. But one thing that the oil does to help with those things is when you put it on, now like I can I can still to this day, when I use peace and calming, that was one of the very first things that I used. At the time Josh was just a baby, and he was like 9 months old when we started doing this, and he just turned 9. So we've been doing this for a while. But when first time I wrote it on him, and peace and calming is supposed to be calming, I mean, like, it's what its name is. It's supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to help you sleep. And everybody else, like, it knocked them out in like 2 seconds. They're out for the count. And Josh is wide awake. He is like still bouncing off the walls. And I'm like, oh my, what in the world do I do? Like, so every time I smell peace and calming, that mental picture and that feeling is in my limbic brain. Like, that is where it's stored. And so every time I smell that, I associate Josh being bouncy, that particular day. I see that particular day. Our brain is so engineered and wired in such a way that smells are connected to what we feel all the time. So if, like, I don't know, if like my grandmother's house, I can go in my grandmother's house, it has a particular smell. I can still see me sitting by my granddaddy eating oranges on the couch. Like, that's where my memory goes when I smell that smell. There's every now and then when I wash my clothes, something about one of the, and I don't even know which way it is. I don't even know, something I put in there creates that particular smell, and I still can't figure out how to get that particular smell, but it's just every now and then, because I put all different kinds of oils and stuff in the wash, and so that particular smell will every now and then crop up, and it sends me back to the couch with my granddaddy sitting there eating oranges. So when we use different oils, so like even with alcoholism or weight loss, if you're using an oil, it's going to bring you back to that place. So you don't want to have a negative feeling when you're using your oils ever. Do not put an oil on and think, oh, I'm so frustrated today. I'm just so frustrated. Oh my goodness, I've got to put something on. I'm frustrated. Oh, do not do that, because every time you smell that particular oil, you're going to go back to that frustration. You're going to smell that smell and associate it with frustration. So every time you use an oil, go to a positive thought. Find a positive feeling. Even if you're not in that positive feeling, what are you wanting to feel at that moment? What are you wanting out of that particular oil at that time? If you're frustrated with somebody and you're mad and you're trying to calm yourself down and you're putting peace and calming on, you're probably not going to associate peace and calming with a peaceful thought all the time, because you're going to go back to that frustrated point. You've got to really think about, you have to be consciously aware of what you're doing, because the oils do so much. They have so many different things that they're working with in your brain. It goes to that feeling part of your brain first, and that limbic part of your brain. It takes 20 seconds to get there. So your mind automatically goes back to that really quick place. So always put a positive feeling with an oil. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if you're using thieves, and just simply because that's the only thing you have available and you feel like yanking somebody's head off. Every time you smell thieves, you're going to associate with yanking somebody's head off. Instead, think, I love this person, and I don't care how much you hate them. I don't care if you think they're the worst person ever. I don't care if they've just stood there and cussed you out. Say, I am happy and grateful for so-and-so. Because at some point, God made that person. And whether or not they're living up to their potential or not, and they're being snotty, that don't mean you have to act snotty. That don't mean you have to be ugly. So you be the bigger person, and you take a bigger thought and you associate it with a better thought and a much more broad thing, and look past that moment. Look way past that particular time. So that is my suggestion. So like with something like alcoholism or weight loss or something that is on a much larger scale, the oil is going to help you in that place of, I need to calm down. I need to relax. I need to not think about that particular thing. I don't need to think about food. I don't need to think about going and getting a drink of whatever it is that you want. And you're going to see that your body begins to react to that over time. And especially if you associate it with a much happier thought, like why are you not wanting to drink anymore? What is the purpose in the not being an alcoholic? Which, of course, health reasons is a huge one. Not to mention the fact that, you're doing something that's going to really fool your brain and cause you to do something that you don't need to be doing. Maybe wreck and kill somebody, like so many effects. So you have to put yourself into this other place. So things that are good for that would be like frankincense, lavender, Roman chamomile, ledum, orange vitality, Juva cleanse. Some of those things, forgiveness is one of the oils that is really good. Valor. Valor is for courage, because it's going to take courage to do something really major. So that gives you the ability to have a little bit more stand-up power and go, okay, no, I can't partake in that. I don't want to do that. Frankincense rebuilds cells every single month. So like every time you have an old cell that's getting bad, it sloughs off and it rebuilds new cells. And your objective is to rebuild good cells. So the more that you're using your oils, and the more that you're using your supplements, and the more that you're doing things that's going to create better health habits for you, eating better, changing some of the habits, not drinking so much, those things are going, as you're using frankincense every single day, your body rebuilds those cells, and you're rebuilding good cells. So every 30 days, as those old cells are sloughing off, you're rebuilding good cells. So the more things you're trying to do in a positive way, you're going to rebuild better. And so the more you try to do, the quicker you're going to see results, which is huge. So just, that was not really even what I was going to talk about. I just happened to see alcoholism, and it just made me think about that. But associate when you're rubbing on frankincense, or when you're rubbing Juva cleanse onto your liver, because that's what that's for. Because, alcoholism causes hepatitis. Rub it on your liver, all those things. So liver health is huge, very huge. I have another video on liver health, so go watch it, because it's very, very important that we take care of our liver, because that is one of the most major organs of our body, and we really want to make sure that it's functioning the way it's supposed to. So listen to that. It's got tons of information and gobs of things that you can do for your liver and help it stay healthy. So today we're going to talk about, though, do let me know if you don't have a book, because that's the most important thing, because it will tell you what to do, how to do it, like everything. Like you won't be confused at all. Okay, so today we're going to talk about geranium. Now, geranium, some people don't like the smell of it. I like the smell of it. It's very flowery. I have a friend that will like throw up when she smells it. She absolutely hates it. But like, this is one of the best things you can put on your skin. It is so awesome. So I'm going to read you just a little thing out of the desk preference. Now, this is a much bigger book. This is the desk preference. And it's got everything in it as well, but it's got a little bit more information, and it's got where the small book has like all the oils, the blends, the singles and the blends, and some of the supplements and things like that. This book has everything, like all the different stuff that Young Living carries. So it's really good. So if you want one of these two, I think it's $75 for the bigger book, and then like $12 for the small book. So, geranium has so many benefits, and I think it gets overlooked because it doesn't smell really pretty, and so I think it does get kind of left behind sometimes. But just listen to the things that it does and that it's good for. Geranium has been used for centuries for regenerating and healing skin conditions. Its medical properties are antispasmodic, antioxidant, anti-tumoral, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, hemostatics, which like stop bleeding, antibacterial, antifungal, improves blood flow, liver and pancreas stimulant, dilates bile ducts for liver detoxification, helps cleanse oily skin and revitalizes skin cells. So, I mean, that's just the medical properties of it. So, different uses that you can use it for: hepatitis, fatty liver, skin conditions like eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, acne, vertigo, fungal infections like ringworm, viral infections like herpes and shingles, hormone imbalances, circulatory problems, and it improves the blood flow, and then menstrual problems like PMS. It helps some of the fragrant influences. So, like I was saying earlier, when we smell an oil, in 20 seconds it goes to the limbic part of our brain, which is our feeling part of our brain. So when it hits that, some of the just the smell of it has the influences that helps release negative memories, which is one of those things we were just talking about, and eases nerve tension, balances the emotions, lifts the spirits, and fosters peace, well-being, and hope. So all of those things are huge. So those geranium, I think, just totally gets overlooked. I think it was a freebie maybe a couple of months ago. I can't remember if it was or not. But anyway, it is one of those little things that just kind of gets overlooked. So if you have a bottle of geranium at home, I don't care how much it stinks, put a little bit on your feet, put you some socks on so you don't smell it, and do it, because it is really nice. You really, really need it. Can't find the other thing I was looking for. But some of the things that geranium is in, one of the oils it's in is Envision. This is one of my most favorites too. Now, it smells kind of woodsy because it's got black spruce, geranium, orange, lavender, sage, and rose. So it's got a little bit of some woodiness to it. Now, one thing about Envision, it is one of my most favorites. Like, I think everybody should have Envision. Now, I think everybody needs like your own little arsenal of things that you know that just works really well for you. Like, there's just certain things that you know that you're going to go to that no matter what, they're going to be there and you're going to have it on the shelf all the time. Envision is one of those things. Yesterday we were talking about Egyptian gold. So if you haven't watched that video, go watch that too. Egyptian gold is one of those that's just amazing too. It's one of those that's kind of a must-have. Just keep it. Now, Envision is a blend that helps to renew, focus, and stimulates creative and intuitive abilities needed to achieve your goals and dreams. It helps to reawaken internal drive and independence and to overcome fears and emotional blocks. Now, a lot of times, if you've ever really tried to accomplish something, if you're not in tune to that thing, or you're really not wanting to have to do that thing, sometimes we get roped into stuff that we really don't want to have to do. And so we really kind of try to just, kind of put it off until we just have to do it because we just really don't want to have to do it. And it's really not the thing that we want to do. And Envision is one of those things that really, you put it in the diffuser. I usually put about 20 drops. You really, in your diffuser, I know a lot of times, even in the book, sometimes it will say, 5 of this or 8 of that or whatever. But really and truly, if you're really wanting to do something major for your body, like you're really wanting to, like if you've got, if your body is below that wellness line and it's not perking up really good, you need no less than 20 drops in your diffuser. Because, if you'll just think about it, you've got this much of water and you're only putting 5 drops of oil in that water. That's not going anywhere. That's not doing you any benefit. So put 20 drops. Like, it's okay. It's really okay. I know some people, now it will get strong. Like my diffuser, I usually use it in my diffuser in my bedroom because this is where I work. But, if it's, and in here, it gets a little strong and it sits here right beside my desk. So, it's pretty strong. But if you're in the, in a living room or something and it's in a large area, you're going to have a good many drops because you're going to want it to cover that area, especially if you're thinking of sleep at night or just really needing to clean your air in your house and purify it a little bit. You're going to have to make sure that you got plenty of drops in that diffuser to really do what it's supposed to be doing. So really think about that. I know some people just really like, oh, that means I might have to buy more. and I know that kind of freaks people out, but it's really okay. It's really not that horrible. But it is definitely one of my favorites, because it really does. If you've got emotional things that you're dealing with and you really need to get rid of some sort of emotional feeling that is going on, it is real that this particular oil is really going to help to diffuse that and get you into a different mode. Because if you're not able to move, even if it's something you're wanting to do, like say you're really wanting to work on a project, there's something specific you really want to do, but you don't feel good, your feelings are getting in the way of you doing this because you're feeling tired or whatever. It's going to really ramp you up, because it's going to begin to get to that limbic part of your brain. It's going to begin to work. It's going to really start making you feel a different way, and you're going to really start having some creative juices flowing in a different way, and it is awesome. Now, the other oil that I want to talk about is Endoflex. Now, this is like on a total different, well, not really. It has geranium in it as well, and both of these have geranium, and that's why I'm showing you these two, because geranium is such a powerful oil in and of itself, but then when you add it together with other things, it can do so much more. So like Envision has the geranium in there, and the geranium, of course, is going to help detox that liver, and it's going to help to do a whole lot of other stuff, even like with your skin and things like that. But it's also going to help you calm and help you to focus and pull you back down. Like in Envision, we have black spruce, which is one of those trees that we talked about on one of the other videos that I did yesterday. It's really going to be grounding. Any tree oil is a grounding oil, and it helps you to be balanced, and it helps you to be strong and straight. And that's what you want. You want to be grounded in what you're trying to do, grounded in your focus, and be able to work and move toward that goal and that thing that you're working at that time. Even if it's cleaning out a house. I mean, like, I can't tell you how when I put Envision in the diffuser and I'm like needing to clean out something and it's not really the thing that I really want to do, oh my word, I can get it cleaned out in 5 minutes. Like, it will spur you on and you'll get done with whatever it is you're doing. So Endoflex is, I was about to say it's like on a total different scale, but I guess it's really not, because still Envision goes along with those emotional blocks and getting rid of those emotional releases. But Endoflex works on the hormonal side of that emotion. So if you've got things like thyroid issues, it's going to help support that thyroid gland. It's going to help support your hormones in so many different ways. It is not even funny. Now in the book, it suggests taking it 1 drop in a capsule 3 times a day. I don't do that. I do, and you can kind of feel what it's like for your body and what you need for your body. Everybody's different. I usually, which of course I'm 46, so like if you're young, you're probably not going to have as much of the support. Like if you're in your 20s, like the girls, I don't care how old you are, every girl needs Endoflex, because our hormones are nuts. So like on my girls, they're young, they're 20, 14, and 12. So I put 1 drop, I rub it on their little forehead and then on their little necks right here. This is your thyroid gland, so rub it on your little thyroid right there. And that's the best place to put it, is on that particular area. And it helps to stimulate, and especially like when it's getting really close to that time of the month, you really need something that's going to support that particular area. And that's what Endoflex does. It really helps to support that thyroid and those hormones. And especially, I mean, even if your thyroid works perfectly fine, it just helps to support and balance all of that out. It's going to do what it needs to do. And that's one thing I absolutely love about the oils, because they are balancing. They're God made. So they're not They're not made in a factory. It's not like you're trying to get them to do whatever. God made them, so He made them to balance with your body. I mean, from the beginning of time, they have used herbs and spices and different oils from plants and everything, ground them up and used them for different things. This is not something new. This is not just like all of a sudden somebody goes, oh, let's just see what this might do. These are things that for centuries and centuries and centuries have been passed down in different remedies. And, you know, all of a sudden somebody starts just taking stuff and throwing it together in a factory, and instead of just bottling the oil that was there. And that's all this is taking the plant and distilling it, putting it into a bottle and using it. Now, there again, we go back to the not all oils are created equal, and we have to be attentive to what we are using. We cannot just use any random oil, because not every single essential oil is a pure essential oil, because there are a lot of oils. If you go to Target or Walmart or many different places, you are going to get a oil that has been not distilled correctly, not put, like, it's got alcohol, it's got water, it's got all kinds of other things added in with it. It may have been distilled 50,000 times. Young Living only distills one time, and then they throw their plants out. And all the runoff from the water they put back into the plants, like to put onto their fields and everything. So they really have I wish everybody could see their irrigation system like it is. It's the coolest, because it actually, like, they pull all the floral water off. Now, see, like, a lot of times other companies will take that floral water because it still has a little bit of oil in there. They still got a little bit from the plant, and they'll take it and they'll bottle that. So you may get a bottle from Walmart that's only been distilled one time, or the first time, and it's like really good. But then you may get another bottle that's been distilled 50 times, because they're going to pull out everything that they can, and then they're going to bottle that floral water, and they're going to put it in with some fragrances and different things like that that's going to interrupt your endocrine system, and it's going to begin messing with different parts of your body that's not good for you. And then that's when the problem starts, because then we've got synthetic things going on in our home, and we've got more toxins in our home, and then we just start this downward slide into other things. So that's why it's so important. That's why Young Living is so important. That's why just our movement in general is so important, to educate and to help people understand why having something pure is so good. Because we do not want, like, we are walking around with estrogen in our body, like, xenoestrogen in our bodies that are not even real estrogen. I mean, our boys are full of fake estrogen, and they don't need all of that. They have a small amount. They have a balance that they need to keep, but yet they're being just thrown tons of it because of the chemicals that we have in our homes and the things that we have in our, like, in plug-ins and in candles. And lighting one candle for a couple of hours is like smoking a pack of cigarettes. It's doing the same damage to your body as if you were smoking cigarettes. So you're really not doing yourself any good by doing that. The plug-ins, one of the worst things in the world that we can do for our homes. It's just so full of so much yuck. And so we have to really think about what we're putting on our bodies, what we're putting in our homes, and what we're putting on our kids, and all of the things all the time, because it really does make a difference, and we are going to see a difference. I can tell a huge difference. And it's funny how when you finally get your nose cleaned out from all of the fragrances and everything, when you go to Walmart and you have to go down the aisle or near the aisle that has all of the cleaning supplies and the dish soaps and the body stuff, all of those things, it's funny how it's just like it hits you in the face and you can't even hardly stand it. And it's very weird. But once you kind of come out of that, you kind of get nose blind because you get used to it. But when you haven't had it and then you go into it again, it's just a really weird feeling, and it does make a big difference. So I hope y'all have an amazing day. I hope this is helpful, and I hope that it's just a great week for you. So I will talk to you soon.